To all my past clients, I wanted to make a special video just for you. It's been a while since I've made a video, and I wanted to bring you up to speed as to what's been going on with us, the real estate market as a whole, and what you can expect from both us and the real estate market in the near-term future. First off, I just want to let you know that I'm very grateful, super grateful for the business that you've given us, my family and I. Full disclosure, over the last couple of years, the earnings that I received in doing the business with you, whether it was a purchase or sale, have helped us to not only maintain a small business, provide for my family, but also have been able to help us to stay afloat during the most difficult, most challenging real estate market in the last 30 years. And that's a fact. I'll be making some more videos in the future about that, but what's going on in terms of volume and how the current market crisis compares with that of the 2008 crash. But I want to let you know that we would not be here today if it wasn't for you. And we're very grateful for your business, for your referrals. Again, the earnings that were generated were used to help keep our doors open. It helped to launch my investment company, which focuses primarily in acquiring distressed assets, that is distressed homes, and wholesaling them to contractors who then fix the homes. And then after they get fixed, we go ahead and we sell those homes at an affordable price to new families to move in. So everything that we've done, you have been a part of. And I want you to know that, and we truly are thankful for your business. As always, please always keep us in mind when you're getting ready to buy and sell. I'd love to be able to help you, to serve you at an expert level in both not only service, but also in wisdom and knowledge. We've seen a lot. We really have seen a lot. Almost everything. Or dare I say almost everything, right? So what's been going on? Well, I can tell you this. When the pandemic happened, I remember looking at my wife and saying to her, stop everything, stop spending money, stop doing everything. Like many other people, we were very afraid, scared. We didn't know if we were going to be able to sell a house in the near-term future or not. We didn't know what was going to, it was unprecedented. That was the key word that the media and everybody always passed around. Unprecedented events and times. Well, fortunately for real estate people, we were deemed as a necessity, right? And so fortunately for us, we actually stayed very busy through those times, and we actually ended up doing pretty well in terms of earnings, which is a lot to be grateful for, because a lot of people, unfortunately, they lost their jobs and careers and things like that. So during those years, we did pretty well, and we were able to hold things together, and we were able to help other people buy and sell property during those times. But I will say this, and this comes at a very opportune time, because I was waiting for the perfect time to make this video. And just this morning, one of my acquaintances posted a video on Facebook explaining how terrible the real estate market has been over the last 2 years. That's 2024 and 2025. And so after he posted the video this morning, following several other videos that I've seen many other real estate gurus, coaches, big time developers post over the last, 6 months or so, I finally decided to, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make this video post too. The fact is this: since 2024 and 2025, the real estate market has been terrible. Yes, that's a fact. If anybody says something different, it's either one of three things. Either they don't know what they're talking about, or they're lying. Sometimes salespeople will push an agenda to keep you engaged so they can sell you something, or process a transaction so they can create money. Or they're a major outlier. They may be the fraction of the top 1% of producers, and they sell maybe 10 homes a year, which is not a lot of homes in terms of quantity. But if each home is in $5 million a piece, well, they're making it up for in volume. So those producers do pretty well regardless. But for the most part, right across the board, about 95% of all real estate professionals, either be a realtor or an investor, did not make money over the last 2 years. And so this morning, when I saw this person post a video. He was talking about how it's been the worst that he's ever seen it in his life. He's been in the business 20 years and it's been the hardest. And now he's stuck digging himself up out of tremendous debt that he has accumulated to try to bounce back. This is the norm. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing this every single day for the last 2 years. My family and I, we've been able to maintain simply by being frugal in terms of how we budget our money and where we spend our money. Also, I have tripled down on my work hours. I've doubled down on my ad spend. That is money that I spend on advertisements to try to keep things going. But our profit margins have shrank tremendously. So think about that. Like if you're making less money, but you're spending more money, I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster. But thankfully, we have been able to keep our heads above water during these trying times. And so most professional economists and analysts believe that we were supposed to have seen a positive, that is a good uptick in business, in volume, in transactions being done this summer of 2025, but that hasn't happened. And the reason why it hasn't happened is because interest rates still are high. They've come down a tiny bit, but they're still high. And because they're high, interest rates coupled with high home prices, even though home prices are coming down, they're still high, and high HOA fees and high cost of living and high property taxes, the monthly payments that are in play to help somebody to afford to finance a property, generally speaking, are too big, too high for somebody to afford. And as a result, most buyers are spooked out of the market and they're riding the fence. Now, to be fair, a lot of sellers, we have now two types of sellers in this market. We have ones that are just really, really motivated to sell, and those sellers are getting very anxious, and as a result of their anxiety, they're dropping their price pretty fast, or they're giving money, they're kicking money back to the buyer so the buyer can pay to lower their interest rate, which helps them to afford those monthly payments. The other type of seller that we're seeing is somebody who's just kind of kicking the tires. If I can get X, then I'll sell. So let's just go ahead and list it to see what happens. And if we can get X, then we'll sell. These people are not going to sell their property. They're hoping for something that just doesn't exist in the current market space. And so right now, sellers are having a hard time with selling their property. They're competing with tons of other listings that are out there because the inventory is just there's a glut of inventory. And then the buyers, the demand is very low. Most of them are on the fence. So this is the problem that a lot of real estate people are seeing in the marketplace right now: low volume, low transactions. Another thing that I want to add to what's going on with sellers is a lot of sellers who are holding property now refinanced their mortgages into the all-time lows. So if you bought a property sometime within the last, 5, 10, or 15 or 50 years, and you had the opportunity to refinance back when rates were at 3% or below, then you did so. And if you did, you're probably holding a mortgage with a rate at about 3% or lower right now. And as a result of that, you probably don't feel like selling that property to go and acquire another property at about 6.5% to 7% where rates are sitting right now. So all of this combined together is resulting in all-time low volume, low transaction volume in the marketplace, which has contributed to my hair turning gray. So you guys, you've seen me over the last couple of years or so. I don't know if you remember, my hair used to be black like Jimmy's right here in that photo, but now it's gray like Calvin's beard right here. So thankfully, the Lord has kept us healthy and well, and like I said, our head above water. But as you can see, it's certainly taken its toll. So what can we expect going forward? Well, as I mentioned, the professionals, the analysts, the economists all said that we were expecting an uptick, a positive uptick in sentiment in the summer of 2025. That hasn't happened yet. And the reason why it hasn't happened is because interest rates have not dropped lower yet. Historically speaking, the housing market slows down in the winter months in the United States of America. This has to do with two major things. One, cold weather, and two, holidays. When the holidays come around, people are more focused on just doing Thanksgiving and Christmas. They're not so focused on buying and selling property. Transactions do get done, but not nearly as heavy as what you see in the summertime when school is out and people are trying to move, shake, and shift to try to get the kids in and out before school year. And also, obviously, the summer months is when the weather is nice and it's not so cumbersome to go out when it's freezing cold. And the holidays, of course. So, historically speaking, going into the winter months, the market is always dragged, which is why economists were expecting an uptick, positive sentiment this summer. That hasn't happened yet. And so now we're heading into September of 2025, and we can expect more drag going into the holiday season in South Florida and the rest of the country. But Joe, I have a friend that is over in Boston or North Carolina or Northern California, and their market is super hot. Yes, there are some hot spots in the country, but that is not the norm. Those are major outliers. And those are three places that I just named to you right now. Parts of Northern California, most people are leaving Los Angeles to go up to Northern California. There are some spots in Boston, and there's also many spots within North Carolina as well. But for the most part, the rest of the country is experiencing the pain right now. So what do we anticipate in the near term? Here's what I think happens. And again, my opinion is shared with what the economists are saying out there as well. We think that in the near term, once the winter passes us and the cold weather gets out of the way and interest rates are reduced little by little by little heading into the new year, that is 2026, we think that sometime in the end of first quarter or maybe probably even second quarter of 2026, that is springtime, March of 2026, we could expect a positive sentimental uptick in transaction volume and buyer interest entering back into the marketplace, which means the sellers will have an easier time to sell their property, which means the buyers will have an easier time affording to finance property. Why is this going to happen? Because again, the Fed has indicated that they will be dropping interest rates. And we think that once the holiday season shakes out, once the cold weather shakes out, and once interest rates start coming back down a little bit, we could anticipate finally a positive sentiment and uptick in transaction volume. This is going to be the first time that we've seen this in about maybe 2.5 years. So if you're a realtor, you should be excited. If you're an investor, you should be excited. If you're a seller or a buyer, you should be on notice. You should be ready. And so if that's you, if you're thinking about buying or selling or just getting ready to consider buying or selling in the new year, then definitely you know how to get a hold of me. Click any of the links below. My calendar information is in there. Get yourself on schedule. We can schedule a consultation call. Love to be the one to help you do that. And that's pretty much it, my friends. It's been really rough. We are still here. God has been good. And I am very optimistic about the next 3 to 5 years in the real estate marketplace. And I do think that, quite honestly, after going through the last 2 years being pretty rough and turning my hair gray, the best is really, really yet to come. Many blessings.